much women as well as people with disabilities that I think both the Minister as well as the DG can chat a little bit more about. But we had that conversation about infrastructure and facilities. It's something that we've gotten a lot from the floor. From Table 25, Khotoko Malo, the acting HOD in the Northwest Province, said that as the Northwest Government, we want to see more development of sports facilities. Now, when it comes to sports facilities, the lady heading up the technical team, the team leader, was Moira Tlhale. I want to know, Moira, obviously there were stadiums that were built from the ground up, there were massive renovations that were done for the World Cup. There were lots of people that learnt during that period. What's happening to that capacity? Where are they now, and how are they being used in keeping the facility up to date?
Thank you very much. The key thing for us is that our team, which was appointed to ensure that we ensure that all the stadiums were designed according to FIFA compliance. Two, we needed to ensure that we managed the budget that government gave, and also to ensure that we delivered on time. It was a team of about 5 companies which I led. Of the 5 companies, only 2 of them are now involved outside the country, being the Ruben Reddy Architects and Eugene van Vieren. And I think what we want to ask is that it's unfortunate that all the learnings that we've had in the World Cup have not been properly, like when we started, you had a lot of Germans in the country assisting us, and that is not being done correctly from this part to ensure that our skills are also shared with the other countries. We're happy that there is an organization like BRICS, and hopefully through that we can be able to share our learnings to the other countries.
When you speak about learnings and sharing them, have you been involved in the perhaps giving advice to Russia or to Brazil?
Ruben Reddy in particular, one of our team members, is involved with Russia, but other members, no.
Those other members that did learn, I know you say that they had to follow specific FIFA regulations in order for the stadia, but could they be translated to helping advise with other sports facilities in the country?
Absolutely, that's definitely the case. Obviously, what we did from the beginning when we started also, we didn't even have correct guidelines to show us how the stadium should be built through FIFA. So as a team, we came up with those guidelines, and one of our team members at the moment is also an author of the FIFA Stadium Guideline book. So basically what we're saying is a project, how we've been trained as technical people is you get given a problem, and it is just how you come up to the solution of that problem. So whatever the project or the game is being played, obviously we should be able to assist.
Can you give me a rough figure of the number of South Africans that were involved and the number of South Africans that have those skills that you now speak about?
If you look at the teams in the stadiums, professional teams, I would say maybe it would have been, and I'm talking professionals only, it should have been a team of about, say, 50 per stadium. You can do the count to 50 times 10. It could have been 500 professionals that were exposed in building the stadiums.
Lovely stuff. And you're saying you'd like those people to be better utilized?
Yes, thank you. Yes, definitely.
Thank you very much. That's Moila Tlhale, who led the technical team for the FIFA 2010 World Cup. Because, of course, as we release this report, it's about the benefits that the event left here in South Africa, but also about the lessons learned. So to the panel up there and to the chair, to LOC's Danny Jordan, I'd like to know, if you could go back now, would there be anything that you would do differently?
Let me just follow up with what Moira was saying. I think we must not underestimate their contribution to world football. In the hosting of major events in the world, countries who just built the stadium and then discover that in terms of the event requirements, you need over and above the stadium additional temporary infrastructure. And that is very costly. What Moira and her team has done for the first time in world sport, develop a stadium construction manual for that specific code. And she will tell you that Ruben Reddy is now in Sochi in Russia, building for the Olympics, Winter Olympics in Sochi, and is helping the Russians to build the stadiums. And some of them are wonderful in St. Petersburg and Kazan and so on. And Eugene van Vieren is working with the ICC in terms of cricket facilities for the Cricket World Cup. He was in the West Indies. And we had a woman, Moira Slachale, leading that team. So for the first time, FIFA has a stadium manual. So if anyone wants to host a World Cup and you want to build a stadium, their manuals are now being used in Brazil, which will be a huge cost saving. So I think as part of the legacy, we often underestimate the contribution of professionals in this country. But the problem that Moira is raising is that many other countries are always getting ahead of us in terms of participating in the next World Cup. And I think that's an issue that we have to discuss with government and help to get our professionals there. The Australians have done it well after the Olympics in Sydney. The Germans are excellent in getting their people into the next event, and something that we certainly have to do.
Okay, I've got this question that's come through via Twitter from Sekhale Mokhodzi, who says, what is SAFA doing about the white elephants? So some of these stadia, they're great, they're wonderful, but perhaps being underutilized. I don't know who can address that particular question.
No, this stadia, I think it's a bit unfair to totally write them off as white elephants. Yes, they have greater potential to achieve and to be utilized more than the current usage, but in essence, some of them have been put in private companies who manage them. I think the greatest issue we should have concern about is the availability of this stadia for development purposes. Because right now, their occupancy rates, some of them are quite high, but you'll see that they are used for festivals and other concerts and entertainment stuff, whereas they were primarily built for promotion of sports and football specifically. So it is the concern of government. The minister has already had a first round engagement with all managers of this stadia and the municipalities that owns them and the private companies that do so. And we are now working as part of our national facilities plan on an overall strategy to ensure that the precincts associated with this stadia are used for what they were intended to the first time. So that matter is being addressed.
Okay, Minister?
No, I think the DG have answered the question, but I just want to highlight one thing about stadiums. They are mega projects and they are developmental projects in terms of stadiums. That means delivering artificial pitch, a multi-purpose center. That work is continuing at the level of government and the private sector. A whole of facilities are being opened on a daily basis. So there should never be a projection that we're not doing anything about that. But secondly, at government, there is what is called a municipality infrastructure grant. There is agreement at the level of government that 50% of that municipal infrastructure grant will be ring-fenced for sports facilities. But the problem with the municipalities is that instead of rolling out this 15% for facilities, when there is a protest for water, they shift that money to address that particular problem. And then when there is a protest about a library, no, we take this money. Yeah, mayor announces, I've rolled out the library and all of that. So that money is no longer utilized. So there is an agreement. We're working on that. I don't know why the DG is shy today. Because this is the time to tell the truth about what we do, because he might never have the opportunity to come again here. Fact of the matter is that Treasury have said to us, cost this, come back to us, so that Minister Mbalula and his team can be in a position to roll out infrastructure wherever it is necessary. Because you've got 2 billion of municipality infrastructure that is allocated to you, not via somebody, via Orlando, direct to sports and recreation, then you can roll out. Secondly, there are big facilities. If you look at Umtata, there is a big stadium that is not finished there. We're discussing with the provincial government to see what we can do. Secondly, you've got another stadium in Odi, which was built by Chief Mangope. When you are watching soccer, it's like you're watching this direction and the pitch is this direction. Obviously, it's not a comfortable space to watch football. Now, Premier there in the province and the local people, we're discussing with them, how can we get rid of that Israeli architecture, infrastructure, which was sourced by Chief Mangope during Bantustan, and did something wonderful for the people of Uputatswana. They could not believe it, that you can watch soccer looking this direction. Only Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs could afford to play there, but the rest cannot. So it's a danger, it's a disaster. So we're looking at what we can do. So those are major projects that we will have to collaborate with municipalities to say, how do we upgrade them? Because for us to take bigger matches, Bafana to Northwest, what do we do? Now with Chen next year, we've got a problem. We promised the people of Northern Cape we'll upgrade the stadium there. Even during 2010, we promised them, even now. Now we can't do it because there is a recession and all of that. We've got to have a stadium in all these provinces, so we are able to host mega events, and those provinces themselves can benefit.
All right, so I'm going to hurry us along a bit. Valiant has got a special guest at the moment, but just before that, very quick question from Ali Paul, table number 3. Ali Paul, table number 3. Very quick question, and I'm going to get a quick answer. Perhaps we'll put it to Deputy Minister.
Morning. Ali Paul from South African Handball Federation. We are acknowledging that you prioritized 16 federations for London, and the question is, how many are currently prioritized for Commonwealth as well as Rio, so that other federations can also stand to benefit out of participating in such events? Thanks.
Okay. DG.
No, we have prioritized federations in line with what the sports plan required us to do. However, this was not for a tournament-specific purposes. It is for the development purposes of those specific priority codes. So the review of this, as the sports plan requires us to do, in 2017, we will undertake a full review of what has been the impact of our prioritization of those specific codes. And in doing such a review, if other codes stand the possibility of being prioritized or downgraded, that's a thing that the entire sports sector will have to look at as and when we come to 2017.
All right, so Valen, you have a special guest. They must be very pleased about Augusta.
They most certainly are, but they've only got one green jacket, does Australia, not as many as South Africa. A little bit of a cheeky comment there. With me, I've got the High Commissioner of Australia, Graham Wilson. When we speak about sports development, a lot of people use the example of Australia because of what they've done, and the High Commissioner said to me he'd just like to make a couple of comments just with regards to some of the things that have been said here when it comes to development and the use of infrastructure.
Yes, thank you very much for that. And it's, firstly, I'd just like to say and to congratulate South Africa on hosting the 2010 World Cup. I think it was a magnificent performance, and one of the reasons I'm here is just to acknowledge how good that was. Secondly, I would like to say that Australia is also a proud sporting nation. I don't think you get two more passionate sporting countries than Australia and South Africa. We hosted the Olympics in 2000. We'll be also hosting the Cricket World Cup with New Zealand in 2015, the Commonwealth Games in 2018 at the Gold Coast. And I think that the links between Australia and South Africa are very strong, very diverse, and sport is one of those areas where it brings the two countries together. I've had many postings around the world. I've always played and coached a variety of sports. We'll do the same here, and be interested to know that there are a number of women's sports. We currently have a cricket team here. We've had a hockey team here recently, and we've got between 10 and 20,000 South Africans, mainly black South Africans, playing the game called Footy Wild, which is based on Australian rules. So there's fantastic opportunities through sport to build bridges, and I look forward to playing my part in doing that. And again, congratulations to South Africa on the fantastic job it did in hosting the games. And infrastructure is critical, and I think, as the Minister and the Director General have said, all of the sports are important, and it's a matter of prioritising. That's what we've tried to do in Australia, and to be fair and equitable and very accountable, and I think that's been one of the reasons we've been successful.
Great, thank you very much. That's the High Commissioner of Australia to South Africa, Mr. Graham Wilson. Sounds like they're competing with South Africa for hosting as many events as we do here in the country. Thank you very much. When we speak about what infrastructure does, it lays down the foundation to host other big sporting events. Now, we had the Minister's answer when it comes to the Olympic Games. What about the Commonwealth Games?
Minister?
Tabby ready.
I think that is a very good opportunity for me to bring in the president, the CEO of SASCOC, Mr. Tabby Reddy. He's shaking his head, but I can get around quite quickly on these high heels. Mr. Tabby Reddy is the CEO of SASCOC. Commonwealth Games?
The minister's dropped me into this one. Just like the Olympic Games, I think the issue for the country is that we don't have a bidding and hosting strategy. And I think that's what we're working on presently. We've completed a document which was tabled at the Sport and Tourism exhibition last year. And we're now rolling out a 17-year plan in terms of hosting events. And hopefully the Commonwealth Games is in that mix.
A 17-year plan, so that sounds like a blueprint for making South Africa once again the sporting destination for the rest of the world. And for now, we remember the wonderful memories of the FIFA 2010 World Cup. So I'm going to say goodbye from the floor. That's it from me. I'll see you on Monday morning on Morning Live. It's back to you, Peter.
Valen, thank you very much indeed. And in fact, all that's left for me is to say thank you very much indeed to our guests that have joined us here today. Minister Fikile Mvulula, the Minister of Sport and Recreation, Dr. Irvin Khoza, Chairman of the 2010 FIFA World Cup Organising Committee, Deputy Minister Gert Oosthuizen, thank you very much indeed. Mr. Football, FIFA Special Advisor World Cup 2014 Brazil, Dr. Danny Jordan, and Director General at the Ministry of Sport and Recreation, Alec Mwemi. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Thank you and good luck with the delivery of this report to our people. I think the legacy issues there are well worth reading and enjoying. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention.